Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the newly updated Jetboil Flash. The Jetboil Flash is an incredibly well-known product and one that's been around for a fair old while. In front of me here, we actually have three different generations of the Flash. We've got the original Jetboil here, the previous generation, and the newly updated version. And as you can see, it's gone through quite a few different changes. We felt it would be nice to have the previous version and the new version next to each other, just so as we go through the different things, we can show you how they've changed. But it's also cool just to see the original Jetboil there. So without further ado, let's jump into the features and specs. So in front of me here, we have the newly updated Jetboil Flash, and then just off to the side here, we have the previous generation, just so we can refer back to it as we're talking about some of the new features. Jetboil have improved the Flash quite a bit, and we've got some really nice features, things that I've thought about when I've been out using the older version of the Jetboil, and I thought it'd be really nice to have that, and it's great to see that now integrated into the product. Obviously there's a lot of differences, but there are a lot of similarities, and a lot of the things we know and love from the Jetboil are still here. So what we're going to do is start at the top and make our way down. The first thing to talk about is the pot itself. So this is probably as important as the stove itself because it's what makes this unit so efficient. So we've got a lid which is included with the Jetboil, and this helps obviously keep that heat in and improve the boil time. We've got the pot itself, which we've still got this nice thermal cozy on here, which insulates the pot and is going to improve that boil time overall. And we've got our boil indicator on the side. If any of you have used Jetboils in the past, you'll know that when the water is boiled, this glows a lovely orange colour, so a nice visual indicator that your water is ready for you. The pot itself is really good quality. It's got a measuring guide on the inside, which will show you, just so you know how much water you're using. If you're using dry meals, you'll need to measure out a certain amount to pour in, so that makes that really nice and easy with this. And then we get down to probably the most important part of the pot and what makes Jetboils quite so efficient, and that is the heat exchanging bottom to the pot. So as you'll see, this is not a flat bottom pot, and it's got all these little ridges. And what that means to you as the end user is you're going to get a more efficient boil. So you're going to get a quicker boil. It's going to boil much faster than if you just had a flat bottom pot, but it's also going to use that gas more efficiently. How this works is 2 times the amount of energy coming out of the stove then is transferred into the pot and into the water, boiling it quicker. With a flat bottom pot, what we tend to find happens is a lot of that energy escapes around the outside of the pot, and you'll be able to see that if you've used a flat bottom pot. You'll probably see that the flame from your stove is coming up around the sides of the pot, and all that energy is being wasted. So by having a heat exchanger, we're taking as much of that energy as we possibly can and directing it straight to the pot, and as at the end, for you as an end user, you're getting a quicker boil time and you're getting more boils per your can of gas because there's less waste. So a really nice system, and obviously it's been on the previous version as well. You can just see it here. The next thing to talk about is that the connection point between the pot and the stove has been improved. It's still very similar to what we've seen on the previous version, but it's not quite as difficult to undo. If you've had a Jetboil in the past, you might know that the older version is a little bit tough to get off. You can see there it's a little bit sticky, and if that's full of boiling water, it makes things a little bit more challenging. So with the new version, they've just changed that ever so slightly, and it's just removed that little bit of stick. This is a brand new one, so it needs a bit of working in. That's been used quite a bit, but you'll just see that's far easier. And what's been done to help with that is just below here, you can see this orange little area, and that is a rubberized area for you to touch and to hold, even once the stove has boiled the water. So this keeps your hands away from any hot points that might be on the stove, and allows you to grip the bottom and twist the pot and get it off far easier. A really nice thing, and something that is one of the things that I'd considered with Jetboil and thought would be a really nice idea, is to have a slightly easier detachment point, because there's nothing more annoying than when you've got boiling water up here, you're trying to detach it without either spilling your hot water or potentially hurting yourself. So really nice that Jetboil has seen that and has made a really nice system to improve that. This rubberized area just below wraps around almost the entirety of the lower portion, so it's easy to grab from multiple different angles, so it's not like you have to bend down and try and get to the right location. And the only thing that interrupts that is the ignition and sort of input to the stove. Before we look at that in more detail, we'll just talk about the burner head itself. It's very similar to the previous version of the Jetboil Flash, but what we are seeing is a encased Pizo. So the Pizo, we still get Pizo ignition with this version, and what they've done is they've encased it in a material. It looks like plastic, but it's not going to be because obviously it's got to handle the heat. And what this is doing is keeping the piezo in one position, so it's less likely to have a failure or to not ignite the stove, but it also means it's less likely to break. We'll grab the other one and open it up, and you'll be able to see when we show you a close-up the difference between the two. This one is notorious for spinning around, being knocked, or even shearing off. So by encasing that, they've improved the durability, the longevity of the piezo, which means it's going to be more reliable for you out in the field. And then that brings us nicely down to our control point on the stove. And this is not only going to give you the ability to change the amount of gas flowing through the system, and then obviously adapt the output that you're getting from the stove, so increase or reduce the amount of heat that's being put out. It's also the ignition. So they've changed the system from this little wire piece that comes out and our piezo button on the other side, so two different things you have to do at the same time, to one really nice clean system. And all you have to do now is twist it, it ignites, stove's lit, you're ready to go. So you could have this plonked down with your water on and it's a one-hand job, so, and that's it. We'll show you some close-ups of that working, but it's a really nice, clean, crisp system, which is not going to become too fiddly when you're out, especially if you're tired after a long day. It's super easy to do, and it's just one of those little things that makes life a little bit easier. And then we come on to what probably made Jetboil quite so popular, other than those really impressive boil times, is just how convenient this thing packs away. So as you can see, it stands relatively tall in its full construction, but when you're using it with the smaller gas canisters, and this works with any of the screw-on gas canisters, this whole thing will fit inside this pot. Which means that once you've finished using it, doing your cooking, and you've dried the pot out, you can put everything inside it, and it forms a really nice, convenient package, which is easily packable into your pack. It's a nice shape. The other thing they've done is they've made everything fit in just a little bit more conveniently. So one of the most noticeable things is that they've re-engineered the pot stand itself, so that now we've got a small cutout on the inside part of it, and this fits perfectly around your burner head. So not only is it going to give you a little bit more protection on that piezo when it's inside here, but it means that it sits a little bit more flush in comparison to how it used to. So everything fits in here with a bit more room, and there's even a bit of space in there when that's packed down to potentially put a microfiber towel in there for drying everything off before you pack it away, just to avoid any rust or anything. Or potentially maybe some coffee, some tea bags, so that everything is kept in one place. So if you need to stop and have a nice brew while you're out on the hill, everything is in one place, ready to go. And then before we finish up, just talking about boil time. Jetboil has always been renowned for its quick boil times, and that has not changed with the upgraded Flash. This will do half a litre of water in 120 seconds, so still really nice and quick. The other thing just to touch on is the fact that this is still compatible with all of the previous Jetboil accessories, things like the coffee press and that kind of thing, and we are going to see a new pot stand so that this can be used with the Jetboil skillet and those kinds of things as well. So all in all, a really, really nice package that still has all the foundations that we know and love about Jetboil, but with some really good additions that are going to make this safer to use, easier to use, and overall a more convenient package. If you've got any questions about the Jetboil, let us know in the comment section below. If you already own one, because this has been out now for a few months, let us know how you've got on. And like always, if you could like and subscribe, it really helps us out. We'll see you next time.